Hi, this is Melina and Taylor, and we're doing our digital story on late-onset Alzheimer's.
So, to begin, let's talk a little bit about what late-onset Alzheimer's is. So, it's a chronic neurodegenerative disease that usually gradually worsens over time. It generally affects individuals after the age of 65. It is a multifactorial disease, meaning that it has a polygenic component as well as an environmental influence. Multiple genes are involved in this disease, and they are on chromosomes 7, 10, and 19, and it is inherited in an autosomal dominant fashion.
So let's talk about symptoms. We have early symptoms, which include difficulty remembering recent events, and we have advanced symptoms, which include problems with language, disorientation, mood swings, and behavioral issues.
So, for treatment, no definitive cure exists currently, but there are medications that allow for the management of the symptoms. The common medication that is used is donepezil, which is a cognition-enhancing medication.
Next, we have a 23andMe interview. It's about a student on our campus who took this test and how 23andMe flagged her with two variants of a gene that are associated with the development of late-onset Alzheimer's. Please welcome Sabrina.
Tell us your name and a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Sabrina Pineda. I am a fourth year here at Stan State. I am a bio major. I am vice president of the Pre-Health Society. I am also involved in the Pre-Dental Society, and I am part of USU.
When did you do 23andMe and why?
So I did 23andMe as part of my intro to genetics class with Jamie, actually. And so it was a cool experience. She had gotten a grant, so the class was able to do 23andMe, and that was honestly why I did it. It seemed really exciting, and I'm still glad I did it.
Were you apprehensive when you took this test? For example, were you scared or worried about the potential outcome?
Not really. I was just really excited. The whole idea was really cool, interesting. I had seen a lot of ads about 23andMe, so the idea of getting to do it as part of my class was really cool. I wasn't ever scared even after I got the results. Nothing really scared me because, Dr. Youngbloom did a really good job of explaining that these aren't a diagnosis. It's just part of your results. It doesn't actually mean that you have the condition that it says you have. It's just something that shows up in your genetic makeup.
What were your results?
So I brought up my 23andMe results, and it says that I have 2 copies of the E4 variant that were tested, which basically says that I have characteristics of late onset Alzheimer's disease.
What was your interpretation of these results, and how did they make you feel?
So at first I was kind of surprised that I had the 2 copies, but I at the same time understood that these weren't a diagnosis, and that's something that I can't stress enough, is that there's nothing on here that says you have Alzheimer's, this is what's going to happen to you, because that's not what 23andMe is about. So I was a little scared. I think the more I thought about it, the worse it kind of got about getting nervous about, maybe I have Alzheimer's. But I have to remind myself that it's not a diagnosis. I'm fine. I don't think about it too much. It's not something that hinders me on my day-to-day life, so it's okay. I mean, everything's good.
Have you sought any confirmatory testing?
So I haven't. I definitely thought about asking my mom and dad to get some results from 23andMe. I was really interested to know if the 2 copies I have, if one is from my mom and my dad, whether this is some new mutation that occurred within my genome, respectively. I'm not 100% sure, so I think that's probably the thing that I'm most curious about. Other than that, I have not sought out any additional testing, but I'm always open to it.
Have you made any lifestyle changes based off of these results?
So I haven't. I don't think that there's anything I can really do to change whether or not I get Alzheimer's. I don't think I can juice things or become a vegan or I don't think dietary restrictions or things like that are going to change what happens later in the future. If there happens to be something about, that like shows clearly that this is going to stop me from getting Alzheimer's, then I'm open to it. But as of now, no.
How has your perspective evolved since you first received these results?
So when I first received my results, I think I was very nonchalant about it. I didn't think too much about it. I would say a few months after getting my results, I kind of started thinking about it more. And now it's kind of the same thing. I know that there's nothing I can do to change my results. I'm thinking about it, but it's not something, like I said, that I really worry about on a day-to-day basis. I believe that if something is going to happen, it'll just happen.
How have these results impacted your future planning and career goals?
I would honestly say that they have not impacted anything. It doesn't change what I want to do or how I want to go about my future, whether I want to have a family or not. Again, like I said, I don't really want to think about it. It's kind of that whole, if you could know what's going to kill you in the end, would you want to know? And I honestly don't. Who wants to be burdened with that, thinking about that every day? Not me. And so I don't worry about it. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and that's all I want to worry about.
Do you feel the 23andMe results are an accurate representation of your genetic makeup?
That's a hard question. I would like to believe so, yes. But truthfully, I don't know that much about 23andMe. I don't know how they're testing, our DNA. I don't know what it is that they're doing. I believe that they did find 2 copies of, the E4 variant within my genome. But other than that, I don't know how reliable it is, which is also why I don't worry about it too much.
Would you recommend 23andMe genetic testing for others?
I would recommend 23andMe if you were curious about anything. But the thing is that if you're going to do 23andMe, I think you need to be well educated and well versed on what exactly 23andMe is and what your results actually mean. Like I said, we did this in class. Dr. Youngbloom was very clear about what it is that we were doing, what we were getting tested on, and what our results actually meant. And so I feel like someone that doesn't have someone there, like Dr. Youngbloom, actually educating them on what 23andMe is, would see results like mine and would probably freak out. And so I don't agree that this is something that should be open to anybody to just buy over the counter and then do, because it could be kind of scary if you don't know what you're looking at.
Do any of your family members have this condition?
I'm trying to think about it. I don't think so. My immediate grandparents have not shown any signs of Alzheimer's. Even my great-grandparents have not shown any signs of Alzheimer's. I don't think it is prevalent in our family, which is another reason why I'm not too scared about it.
You told your family about your results?
Yeah, I have, right away.
What was their interpretation, and what do they think you should do about this information?
Well, when I explained it to my parents, I also made sure to tell them that I do not have Alzheimer's. This isn't a definitive answer, yes, you have Alzheimer's. So after I explained that to them, they were a little bit more relaxed. To be honest, to people that don't really know anything about genetics or stuff like that, they're mostly interested in the ancestry part of 23andMe. So I don't think they paid much attention to the health risks and things like that. So,
What has been your take-home message for this entire experience?
So when I think back on this entire experience, I think the biggest thing is that 23andMe is a really cool opportunity for people to learn more about themselves and their genetic makeup and where they come from. I think that's why a lot of people do it. That's why I did it. It was really fun and interesting, and I love learning things, about my heritage. I learned that I had Native American in me, and I think that's really cool. Yes, you get to learn about the genetic health risks. That's also interesting, things like hypertension, diabetes. It gives people a chance to maybe think, oh, I have, I'm a carrier for these traits, maybe I should change my lifestyle a little bit. In my case, I had the Alzheimer's, and again, it's not a diagnosis, it's something that I can be aware of and think of a little bit more as I get older, but it's good to know, it's interesting. One of the fun facts was I am 144% more likely to drink instant coffee. I don't know why I need to know that. I don't know how they know that, but they do. So it's really interesting. I think people should look more into, their ancestry and their genes and learn more about yourself.